I say PENDREAM TV. PENDREAM TV there. Them yopo.
It was interesting. I got an invitation from his daughter Amma. Thank you very much, Amma, for the invite. And yeah, that's Ambassador Kwesi Pratt over there that we are celebrating in the first part of tonight's show. And Amma said to me that your senior brother is 70. I said, wow, Kwesi Pratt is 70. He looks so good for it. I hope that when I'm 70, I can look as good as Kwesi Pratt. He can pass for 60, can even pass for 59, 58. Kwesi, congratulations. Your 70 is very, very beautiful. Very, very, very beautiful. And I mean, the tenacity. When I interviewed a few people, I interviewed Randy Abbey of Good Morning Ghana. He talked about that. Kwesi's tenacity to the job. And as I said before here on Good Evening Ghana, Kwesi is a left-wing reporter. And Kwesi supported the Cuban Revolution. Kwesi supported Panama against the United States. Kwesi led a demonstration for Jubilee 2000 in Ghana for the cancellation of Africa's debts, and it was successful. Kwesi led a demonstration in the first Iraq war and the second Iraq war against the imperialists who were trying to take out Saddam Hussein. Kwesi supported the Palestinian Liberation Organization of Yasser Arafat. Kwesi supported Eduardo dos Santos in Angola. In the war of Frelimo and Renamo, Kwesi was on the side of Frelimo. Kwesi is a left-wing thinker, very, very committed. And he's committed to the rights of ordinary people. And he's committed to attacking the abuse of government and colonial and imperial authority. Kwesi doesn't like neo-colonialists. And he has stayed with that philosophy for 50 odd years. So when he was celebrating his 70th, I thought this is an example to tap into tenacity. Tenacity. And I celebrate Kwesi Pratt this evening on a very personal note. And you will see it when I show you the video of the party. So the party was to start at what time? 5 o'clock. It happened somewhere in Lashibi. So I sent my crew there, not all of us, just a few, to be there. So they got there at about 5:30, and then they called me, and I said, people started coming. They said, yeah, people have started coming. Okay. So 7 o'clock, they called me. They said, boss, are you coming? I said, yes, I'm coming. They said, are you sure? I said, oh, but I'm coming, of course. Then I said, are people coming? They say, yes. So they started giving me a roll call. They called me. So I see their call, I pick. I was in a meeting, but as soon as I see that call, I said, what's happening? They said, your friend at Blackwell has come. I said, hey. I said, who else is there? They said, Manibuama is here. Then they called me. They said, boss, are you coming? I said, I'm coming. I said, why? He said, I see Dunketia is here. I said, yeah. Power to the people. I said, Dunketia. I said, I'm coming. Then they called me again. Then I said, well, MPP ministers are not coming. They said, oh, they haven't come. I said, oh, they'll come, they'll come. Then they called me, so boss, you were right. Minister of Lands has just come. Abu Jinapo is here. I said, okay, who was it? They've seen somebody like Nano him in tow. I said, yeah. They said, Eugene Entry is also here. I said, yeah. They said, oh, your man is here. I said, who? He said, Kojobu. I said, oh, okay, that's fine. Then they said, boss, chief of staff has come. I said, oh, Fremont Parade. They said, yes. I said, okay, I'm coming. Then I said, but who else is there? Look around. They said, boss, Mr. Chachu Chikata is here. I said, hey, I'm coming. They said, Jinano Pokwajiman is here. I said, I'm coming. They said, boss, your friend Sami JP. I said, oh, Sami JP will be there. I said, what about our people? So Randy is here. I said, okay, I'm coming. They said, Anyampo Futu is there. I said, I'm coming. 8 o'clock, they called me, boss, are you coming? I said, I'm here. So they came out to see me. I said, what's the plan? They said, okay, boss, when you enter, to the right-hand side is Jinano Pokwajiman. She's sitting with Chachu Chikata. Chief of staff is also there. But all your people are on the left-hand side. I said, but who are my people? They said, oh, Sami JP or Manibuama or your people. I said, what about upstairs? There are some people upstairs, but they don't know them. I said, okay. So I said a prayer. I did the sign of the cross. I said, let's go. So we got in and I saw Kwesi, etc., etc. To cut a long story short, viewers, congratulations to Kwesi Pratt. It was an amazing event. Here is what we captured.
Kwesi is a great guy, as we all know. Kwesi, though, is a father to most of us, but you don't see that fatherly-son relationship. It's all about friendship. It's all about brotherly relationship. Kwesi is a jovial type, very kind type, down to earth, and we are proud to associate ourselves with him. He's been like a big brother to me for more than a decade now, and he's still grooming me. In fact, if you don't see Kwesi in his house, if you don't see Kwesi at Laboni, Alaji's house, you see him at my place. He dines, yes, Kwesi dines in my house. We do party together, and he will advise you. In fact, he's the type who doesn't take no to an answer. Yeah. I like Kwesi. Yeah. Kwesi is a dynamic persona, and we all cherish him so much. In fact, from the media perspective, I would say that he's a great gem, and we are tapping into his fountain of experience and maturity. But he has been guiding me. The success story we've seen so far under my leadership, I can say that I'll credit him with about 70%.
Thank you very much. Coach Jackson, Super Morning Show. What can you say about Kwesi Pratt? The guy is 70. We are very far from that. He's 70 already.
Yeah, one day we may get there if we're lucky. But you know the thing about him, every time I think about him, it reminds me of this. You see, those who grew up wanting to be great footballers may have idolized Pele and Maradona. Those who grew up wanting to be great musicians may have idolized Lumba or Michael Jackson. But for those of us who only ever wanted to be journalists, it's people like Kwesi Pratt we worshipped as kids. And the work, the body of work that he has behind him, I mean, is such an example, not just for those of us who are trying to make our own mark, but for those who are dreaming of it. And so to have someone like that still among us, still doing it, and doing it at the top of the game is such a privilege. I think we are all very fortunate to have lived in the era of Kwesi Pratt.
Solid. So we start with Randy. Okay, so Dr. Manibo Ama, Randy Abe, Sami Joe, that's a powerful, Charlie, that's a powerful squad. Randy, endorsement for Kwesi Pratt, 70 years.
We thank God for his life, illustrious career, father, grandfather, husband, senior journalist. I think that is,
Father, grandfather, husband.
Yes, he's done extremely well for himself. I think that is an example for many people. They've been through a lot, and they've inspired us. They blazed the trail, and fortunately for many of us, they welcomed us irrespective of the age differences, and they helped us, and they made it very comfortable for us to share the same podium and platforms with them. And by the grace of God, we're also where we are today. So I'm extremely happy, and I'm sure everybody will wish that at 70 they'll be able to do what Kwesi Pratt is actually doing. I mean, for me this morning I mentioned it on TV that the discipline to still wake up at dawn 6 days in a week and still do what he's been doing the last 55 years, is phenomenal. And if there's a definition of discipline and humility, this is it.
The avatar. Sami, Kwesi Pratt.
Well, Kwesi is an inspiration to all of us. For me personally, he's been a mentor, and many don't know, but he's had great impact on my life. When I entered KNUST as a young guy, I recall Kwesi Pratt visiting KNUST campus, specifically Independence Hall, with the likes of Tony Later for the Free Churchill movement at the time. I believe that was 2009. I was about 18, 19 years at the time. And I remember seeing him with Tony Later having a conversation at the car park of Independence Hall, and walking up to him and telling him that, "Sir, I want to be like you one day."
Oh, wow.
And then he told me, "Don't be like me, be like yourself. Yours may even be better."
Oh, I see.
I remember every word he spoke to me that night, and those words still ring in my heart and in my mind every day.
Kwesi Pratt, what do you have to say? My camera is watching.
Kwesi Pratt, I've known him for over 20 years.
From medical school.
Yes, right from my medical school days as the president of the National Union of Ghana Students. And so we developed a working relationship. And I must say he has been an inspiration. Interestingly, after NUCS, I transitioned into the Committee for Joint Action. And we were founding members of the CJ. And we worked together over there too. We had our own disagreements over issues in terms of taking positions on certain matters and modus operandi and all that. But the interesting thing is, in my 20s and Kwesi in his 50s, Kwesi always had the humility to listen to your side of the story. But God has blessed him with magnificent intellect, deep intellect. If there is a philosopher in the media space in this country, that person is Kwesi Pratt.
Mamena PENDREAM TV ase. Now so far so good. Say open online portal e wo Ghana. Nipa share, nipa follow, nipa comment here. To my best of knowledge, without any biases, PENDREAM TV.